guys, it's the Football and welcome back for another FPL episode. This is the Game Week 27 guide, but of course we are going to be looking forward to Game Week 29. As you all know, a lot of blanks, a lot of moving around in teams to do. But before we get to it, a small shed of tears that I'm just going to wipe for all the Bruno Fernandes captains out there. And fingers crossed for all you Kane captains out there, because you never know what can happen. I'm going to put in that curse. I'm putting that dark energy towards you guys, you motherfuckers. But anyway, the game week is still not over yet, but we wanted to give you that content crack earlier so that you get a head start to making your decisions. So forgive us if there are certain changes that are in the teams that you may need to make because of injuries or people essentially failing, right? So sorry about that in advance, but you can thank us later for all the advice we've already given you. So, okay, so let me just get started with the first section. And as usual, it's no cash for trash, where we just talk about all the trashy players that we want to remove. And speaking of trash, it just reminds me of one dude. Who is that, Pathare? Who do we think of?
Who's that guy on the bottom of the table?
Yes, the trashiest player of them all. Please start your no cash for trash section here.
Okay, cutting the crap. Let's go and just discuss.
No, this channel is built on crap, my friend. You can't cut the crap.
So Rob Holding is my no cash for trash for this week. I think that's an obvious choice. He hasn't been.
Is it an obvious choice at this point in the season? I thought it would be
Well,
a game week.
I mean, if it wasn't obvious to you in game week 27 game weeks, I don't know why it suddenly becomes obvious.
Okay, so he used to start for Arsenal, okay, in my defense. Now he doesn't do that either. Pablo Mari has started playing games for Arsenal. So I think it's time for Rob Holding to go, even as a bench player for me. So Rob Holding out and maybe a City defender coming in. What about you, Pathare? Who do you have?
Okay. So I have terrible luck with midfielders for the past few game weeks, and another one is injured. This is the third one. After Grealish and Maddison, now it's Barnes. And so he's definitely going to make way because now he's red flagged. And I'm in a dilemma right now who to get him, because quality midfielders in that budget range are getting very slim.
Footnote for you guys,
Alright.
anyone that Pathare gets in for this week, you can choose to ignore because he's going to get injured anyway, right? So, Pathare, whoever you're getting in, just let us know as soon as possible so people can, look away from that
Hold
player.
on, but wait. I'm not going to let FPL go ahead this week unless Pathare gets Jota in. This guy has ranted about Jota and what all he's going to do.
Okay. So in my defense about the thing is Jota was in training and he was fit the last time I spoke about him, and then he had illness and he went out again. That is the reason why I didn't get him in. And
So now the things have turned so badly for you that even when you speak about players, you start getting injured. Oh my. Please keep United and Liverpool and City players off, even Spurs players off your tongue, because everyone owns them and they're going to abuse the fuck out of you if anything happens to them.
I'm thinking of getting in. No, Mike, he's a great.
Yeah.
I don't want to jinx him.
Don't jinx it.
We're going to leave
Okay.
his Instagram handle in the comment section, so whoever he gets in, you can just, go after him afterwards. Either way, go ahead.
Yeah. So my no cash for trash this week is going to be Calvert-Lewin. A big disappointment, man, to be honest, because I know he gives points, here and there, and I was actually checking. Like, he averages 6 points, generally averages 6 points when he even scores, and there are so many times he does not score. And I feel like, bro, that is something that I've been getting from City defenders anyway, right? So am I really looking to, like, not gamble, but spend close to 8 million on a player that might just give me 6 points? Maybe. I don't think so. And especially when you put it into perspective of game week 29, I feel like there are other strikers who can give you more value for that money. And he's not going to be playing game week 29 anyway. So I think it's time to remove Calvert-Lewin. He's got Chelsea next and he plays Burnley after, but I don't see him doing wonders there anyway. So I'm just going to, my thing is to get rid of Calvert-Lewin. and
Okay.
I'll reveal to you who I'm considering to get as a replacement. And let me just kick that off right now. Why not? So potential stonks, the players we think are going to perform, they're going to kick ass next the coming weeks. And no better place to start with Antonio. This motherfucker is on fire. He's scoring against City. He's scoring against essentially every team he's facing. Bar one, that was just one blank where we all got him in for. I think that was the Fulham game, which was like a 0-0 or something. So yeah, I'm seriously considering Antonio. He's going to be a differential, guys. Not many people are going to take him because of his fixtures. And the other guy that I'm considering is Ollie Watkins. But then again, I feel like going for a differential this time. And I want to trust my gut when it comes to the strikers. Because good strikers are going to perform no matter what. And I know it sounds a bit weird because we were talking about DCL. But I don't know how good he is at the moment. And I know Antonio's on fire. So considering game week 29, form and price, he hits all the marks. So that's him from me. What about you, Pathare?
Okay, so first, I would like to provide a counter perspective on DCL. The thing is that the team that Everton were at the beginning of the season that we all enjoyed watching, right now, I think last week is the team that came back again. The last play, I think Alan came back finally. So maybe Everton might get back to the kind of game they were playing at the very beginning of the season. And then I would think it would be foolhardy to sell DCL at this point.
Also, not to
Because
forget
we
that
know how, yeah.
Also, not to forget that DCL has a run of favorable fixtures, which is also another
But you
reason to
can
keep
always
him.
get him in, right? What's the problem? You just remove him up until game week 29 because he's not going to be. Do you really bank on him scoring against Chelsea? I don't.
Well,
And just to keep him for that, okay, if you want to keep him for that Burnley fixture that you so desire, just keep him for that one fixture. But essentially, I want to start building my team for 29 right now. And it just seems like the appropriate move for me.
fair.
Okay, so moving on, my potential stonk is going to be Ricardo Pereira. If I decide to keep Barnes on the bench, because he has been playing as forward as Barnes, and Leicester have favorable fixtures, so he will definitely be involved in some attacking returns, and we saw how great he was last season. I'm just hoping that he can perform that. It's kind of a differential pick.
I don't support that at all.
Neither do
He
I.
had a double game week and he just gave not even, I think 4 points he conceded in both the games. Remember
Yeah, but,
this, that he's
it's
still
a
defender.
massively depleted Leicester. So Leicester where we have better players, like the good players come back on, like Madison and I think even
Is
Perez.
Madison coming back?
Exactly.
Yeah, he will come back. He had a small minor injury, so they rested him. He hopefully
And
should
what
be
about
back
Vardy?
next week.
Vardy didn't play as well, right?
So I think Vardy was
Clueless.
I
Clueless. Rohit is clueless.
Yeah. No,
don't
back
know about Vardy's injury.
punting
but-
on Ricardo Pereira, my man. Let's
Oof.
come on, let's be realistic. here.
Okay, either way, we're not getting players that Rohit is getting in anyway. So moving on to my pick, I think it's going to be Lingard for me this week. I know that's a differential, and yes, so it's Lingard in midfield for me. Reason being that he's almost been playing as a second striker for West Ham, and considering the Antonio Lingard partnership is doing pretty well this season, and not a lot of people own him, and I'm already 20 points off Pathare and about 70 points off Amber. I think the differential.
100.
Okay, that game week is not over. My captain is yet to play, but okay.
I think I'll get Lingard instead of Barnes.
Look at this. Oh god.
He's giving you that juju, man. He's giving you that curse, Karan.
So either way, I'm gonna trust my instinct here and go with Lingard for this one. What about you, Amber? You already said Antonio. Let's move on to the next section
but
then.
I think it's a pretty interesting choice to be honest, because at the end of the day, he's still Jay Lings, right? So when it comes to FPL, it's a reputation matters a lot. So maybe a lot of people are holding back on getting Jay Lings, thinking it's about time that he starts, declining. But yeah, that's a pretty bold choice, and I think only a Manchester United boy could be so brave as to get Lingard in his team. So we'll just follow your lead, yeah.
I mean, his numbers are so shocking currently that I'm not sure he might be able to maintain them still.
And
But that's the thing with FPL. You never need your players to maintain anything. You get them in for a few weeks, and then you fuck them off. It's like the Chelsea.
Chelsea managers.
Scenario with their managers. Yeah, it just in reverse in FPL. So not a bad strategy. But let's just get down to business now, boys. This is where it all comes down to, right? The special one. The special one is your captain, and if your captain doesn't perform, it all goes to shit anyway. So,
Ambar knows.
Pathare, have you thought of a good captain this week? And
No, actually, because this week I have one potential captain in mind who might be my choice. Is gonna be Gundogan because he has a double game week. So hear me out, because all the other players I have in my team have difficult fixtures, and Bruno, who was my second forget captain, is facing another big six. So I don't expect any
he's
points.
facing the biggest of the six, man.
As much as he did assist a beautiful one last season, I doubt he will do that again. So for now, Gundogan is my choice because. But then the problem with that is that Pep Roulette is gonna get him for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. So or a very I would say controversial sort of. I don't know. It could be captaining Ruben Diaz because he seems like the only one set. It's just how much of a risk you want to take, because if Cities get beaten in both the games, then you're going to lose on this clean sheets.
But I won't say that didn't cross my mind. I was definitely considering Ruben Diaz or John Stones as well. John Stones not so much, but Ruben Diaz for sure. Looking at United against the Big Six, it sure looks like a given draw, right? So there's one goalless draw coming in anyway.
You really think United can pull out a draw at the Etihad?
That's the bare minimum that they could do, right? Not score.
No, the bare minimum they could do is concede 4 and go home crying.
Yeah, well, that's United's defensive lookout, right? I'm talking about City's defensive lookout. And for me, Ruben Diaz gives a clean sheet for sure against United. So, yeah, Ruben Diaz is a good shout.
Yeah.
What is your shout in this, Karan? If not Ruben Diaz, and let's come back to a little sense over here, because we know none of us are going to captain defenders.
Yeah.
However,
Fair.
guaranteed that clean sheet is, because
Yep.
we all want that higher ceiling.
Uh-huh.
So who do you think has the highest ceiling this week?
Well, currently, I'm considering two options. One is Harry Kane. The second is Kevin De Bruyne, of course. De Bruyne is
You don't even have De Bruyne now. How are you gonna what?
by getting him in. How else? Either way. So it's either Harry Kane or Kevin De Bruyne. I can still mention for those who still have him, right? It's for everyone,
Okay,
the
okay.
channel. Either way.
Okay.
Harry Kane, favorable fixture, always scores against Palace. So there's that. And Kevin De Bruyne has been in a good run of form. He looks like he's back at it. So De Bruyne wouldn't be a bad choice either, considering he has a double game week. What about you,
It's so
Amber?
funny how we've stopped mentioning Salah, right? He was the king
Oh,
of the
God.
jungle, man. And then Bruno came in, overthrew him, and there was this battle going on between the two. And now look at us, we're all scrambling for captains. But this is what makes FPL so interesting, I think, especially at this point of the season, because there's no guaranteed captain who's going to give you points anymore.
Yep.
You got to put your thinking caps on. You got to keep doing your research. People are getting dropped from teams. People are getting COVID. You don't know what's happening. So maybe in this madness, a little risk can definitely pay off. And I think it did pay off for a lot of my friends who captained Son this double game week. And I think he is a very good shout as well for Crystal Palace. That being said, you always want to be captaining a penalty taker. So I think Kane is the way to go. But it's a hard battle between these two. And you'll find out a few hours before the final game week when you look at our teams to see who got my captaincy choice, but it's definitely gonna be between the two.
Just a side note, I read somewhere that Bruno Fernandes might be banned for a game or two. I'm not sure
What the
how
fuck?
true that news is. I haven't read the details, but that's what I read and I thought you should know.
For what?
But why would
Yeah,
you say
why
that?
would he be banned?
I just
Yeah.
said I haven't read, I just read the headlines.
Oh, so that's how you plan to run a channel like this, man.
ये सब ऊपर से अच्छा नहीं.
अरे बेकार काम करता है ये बंदा.
Ugh.
जल्दी का काम शैतान का होता है करें. What is this?
No worries. We'll get back on that Bruno thing for a definite live session. And as we've said before in our videos, and we're gonna be posting it again on Insta.
Yeah.
We want you guys to send your teams in. We want a screenshot of who's been the most successful in the previous game week.
Who has
And
the most points?
yeah, essentially the most points. And we want you to come on our channel, have a chat with us, and of course engage with the viewers. Tell them how you want to thank your mom and dad that you came onto the football den. But yeah, we want you guys to get more involved in the football den, and so we decided to hold this every week where you send in your teams at the end of the game week, and the highest point scorer comes and hangs with us. So we look forward to that. And any more comments from you guys, Karan, Padhare, before we just wind up?
Yeah,